All right, so today we're going to look into AI and Kindle publishing.
Okay.
Specifically, we're going to do a deep dive into AzonKDP.
Interesting.
It's this new tool, and they're really making some big promises about simplifying the entire process of creating and selling Kindle books. And we've got all of their marketing materials here,
Oh, wow.
a whole stack.
All right.
So we're going to try to unpack what they're offering and then see if it lives up to all the hype.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Like, is it going to live up to what they're promising?
Right.
One thing that I think is really interesting is that AzonKDP is really tapping into a market that is absolutely booming.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. Amazon paid out $370 million to Kindle direct publishing authors in 2023 alone.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. And there's over 6 million people browsing the Kindle store every day.
So there's definitely a big audience.
Huge potential audience, right?
Yeah.
So how does AzonKDP claim to make it easier to navigate this massive market?
Yeah. That's what I want to know. What do they say they're doing?
Well, they call themselves an AI-powered Amazon publishing assistant.
Oh, okay.
And they're really pushing the idea that it can basically handle every step of the process.
Really?
So they claim that they can help you with researching and writing and publishing and even getting your book ranked higher on Amazon's charts.
So it's like they're saying that it's like having a whole team
Yeah.
of publishing professionals working behind the scenes for you.
Exactly. And it's all powered by AI.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty big claim.
It is a big claim.
So let's break it down. What are some of the specific features that they're highlighting?
Okay, well, one that really jumps out is this thing called AI-powered content generation.
Okay.
And so what they're saying is that their AI can write high-quality original content in just minutes.
Wait a minute.
Like, you think about it, no more writer's block. You don't have to spend a fortune to hire a ghostwriter.
Yeah, that sounds a little too good to be true.
It does sound a little too good to be true, doesn't it?
It does.
It definitely raises some questions about the quality and the originality of content that's created by an AI.
Right.
But we can dig into that later.
Okay.
For now, let's just stick to the features.
Okay, so what else is on their list of features?
Okay, so they've also got tools for keyword and category research, which they say can help you uncover profitable niches that are kind of flying under the radar.
So it's like they're saying their AI can find the sweet spot
Yeah,
where demand is high but competition is low.
exactly. Because discoverability is a huge challenge
Right.
for self-published authors.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about standing out in that marketplace.
Right, because keywords are crucial for getting your book seen on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're the secret code to getting noticed by the algorithm.
Exactly. They also talk about competitor analysis as a key feature.
Okay, so what does that involve?
Basically, AzonKDP claims to provide insights into how your competitors' books are doing. So you can see what keywords they're using, you can see what their sales data is like.
So it's like peeking behind the curtain
It
and
is.
seeing what's working for other people.
Exactly. And that can be really valuable, especially if you're new to all of this.
Yeah, that could be really useful.
And they're really trying to create a one-stop shop for aspiring authors.
Really?
Yeah, because in addition to research and writing, they claim to handle all the formatting and the publishing tasks as well.
Wow.
They say that they'll make sure your book meets Amazon's standards and then publish it in seconds
Wow.
across a bunch of different platforms.
Like what other platforms?
Like Google Play Books, Apple Books, and more.
So it's not just Kindle. They're going beyond that.
Right. It's not just about creating the book, it's about getting it out there everywhere.
Yeah, getting it out there for the world to see.
Exactly. And they say they can do it all in seconds.
Wow. Okay, that is a lot to take in.
It is.
I mean, they are really painting a picture of effortless publishing.
They are. And to top it off, they even have an AI-powered cover designer.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it creates professional-looking covers, they say, in a flash.
Oh, wow.
So you don't even need to hire a designer, just let their AI handle it.
So they're really trying to eliminate all the traditional roadblocks
Yeah,
to publishing.
it seems that way, but of course we need to look beyond the marketing
Right.
and see if they can really deliver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's dig into some of the specifics.
Okay.
What exactly is this advanced KDP research tool they keep mentioning?
Right.
How does it work?
Well, according to their materials, it uses real-time data from Amazon
Okay.
to identify keywords that are in high demand but have low competition.
So it's all about finding those hidden gems
Exactly like having a treasure map.
in the Amazon jungle.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
And AzonKDP is like the guide
Yes.
who has the map.
Exactly.
But even if you find the perfect keywords, you still need a great book to back them up.
You do, and that's where their AI-powered content generation comes into play.
Okay.
They say that their AI can help you overcome writer's block and generate that high-quality original content in minutes.
I'm still a little skeptical about that.
Yeah.
How do they address concerns about the quality and originality of AI content?
Well, they say that their AI is designed to mimic human-like writing.
Okay.
So the content should be engaging, it should be natural.
Hmm.
They also say that it can create content in over 100 languages.
100 languages. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Can an AI really capture the nuances of that many languages?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It is something that we should consider as we keep going through all of this.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so they've got tools for research and writing and publishing and even cover design. What about the formatting of the book? Isn't that a pretty technical process?
It can be,
Yeah.
but they claim to handle all of that automatically.
Right.
They make sure that your book meets Amazon's formatting requirements.
Right.
Saves you time, saves you headaches.
I've heard some real horror stories from authors who have struggled with formatting issues.
Oh.
And like faced rejections from Amazon. So AzonKDP is saying they can just eliminate that whole hurdle.
That's what they're claiming. And don't forget, they can also publish across multiple platforms. It's not just the Kindle store.
So it's all about maximizing your potential audience.
Right.
Yeah, getting it out there on as many platforms as possible.
The more places, the better the chances of reaching readers.
So it seems like AzonKDP has covered a lot of bases here.
They have.
But before we get too carried away, we should take a look at what real users are saying.
Yeah, what are people actually saying about it?
Do they have any like testimonials or success stories?
They do. They feature quite a few, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they highlight people like Art Flair,
Okay.
who praises AzonKDP for its keyword research.
Okay.
He says that it helped his books rank higher and sell faster than ever before.
That's great.
They also feature Amit Gaikwad, who really likes the AI-powered content creation. He says that it totally changed his approach to publishing on Amazon.
That's interesting. So they got positive feedback from at least a couple of users.
Yeah.
But are they making any like specific claims about how much money
Oh, yeah.
people are making?
They mentioned this guy, Tomas, who supposedly earned $315,000 in 12 months
Wow.
using AzonKDP.
That's a lot of money.
And then they highlight Delphine Tomukong,
Okay.
who they claim makes over $10,000 a month just from children's coloring books.
From coloring books.
Wow. That she created using AzonKDP.
Wow, those are some pretty impressive figures.
They are.
But it's important to remember that these are just individual cases, right?
Of course, individual results can vary so much.
Right.
And there's no guarantee that everybody who uses AzonKDP is going to be as successful.
Of course not. But it makes you wonder
It does.
if it could be a game changer.
That's why we're doing this deep dive.
Exactly.
We want to look at all sides of this tool.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
The potential benefits and drawbacks.
Exactly.
So where should we go from here? What should we focus on next?
Well, we've covered the main features. We've seen some positive testimonials. I think it's time to dig a little deeper and see if there are any potential downsides or like limitations.
Yeah, we need to look at this from all angles.
Right.
Because while AzonKDP does seem to offer some exciting possibilities, it's important to approach it with some skepticism as well.
Yeah. You got to separate the hype from reality.
Exactly.
See if it really lives up to the claims.
Right.
You know, one of the things that I find really fascinating about AzonKDP is how they're using AI to try and simplify a process that's always been kind of complicated and time-consuming.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, like, don't worry about all those hard steps.
Right.
Just let our AI take care of it.
Yeah, and that's really appealing to people who are new to self-publishing.
Yeah, for sure. But it also raises some interesting questions.
Yeah.
Like, what if everyone starts using these AI tools to generate content? Could we end up with just a bunch of books that all sound exactly the same?
That's a really good point, because even if you're using like different keywords and you're targeting different niches, if the writing is all coming from the same AI, you could definitely see a lack of originality.
And diversity.
Exactly. And that's something that potential users should think about.
Yeah.
Like, how important is it to them to have a unique voice and style in their writing?
Right.
And are they okay with an AI playing a big role in shaping that voice?
Yeah, it's a tricky balance.
It is.
Because on the one hand, these AI tools could really help people overcome writer's block.
Right.
And get their ideas out there.
Yeah,
But then there's that risk of losing that personal touch.
exactly. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
But for now, let's get back to some of AzonKDP's features
Okay.
and see what else we can find. We were talking about the keyword research tool earlier.
Uh-huh.
They say a lot about its ability to find profitable niches.
Right.
But what evidence do they actually have to support those claims?
Yeah, it's one thing to say that their AI can analyze data, but do they actually offer any concrete examples or case studies to show how it's worked for authors?
Well, they do mention some success stories.
Okay.
Like in their marketing materials, they talk about Art Flair,
Right.
who says that the keyword research tool helped him increase his sales significantly.
Okay.
And then they also talk about Delphine Tamukong,
Well,
who they claim is making good money from children's coloring books that she created using AzonKDP.
okay, so they have at least some evidence to back up their claims.
They do.
But we have to keep in mind, those are just individual examples.
Exactly. Individual results vary a lot, and there's no guarantee that everybody's going to see that level of success.
Right, of course. But it does give you some insight into how people are using the tool.
It does.
All right, so let's say you've used AzonKDP to find a niche, and you've got some content.
Okay.
What about the actual publishing process? Do they provide any guidance or support in that area?
They do. They really emphasize how easy and fast their publishing process is. They say they handle all the technical stuff, like formatting your book to meet Amazon's requirements. And then they distribute it to a bunch of different platforms, not just Kindle.
So they take care of all that stuff behind the scenes.
That's what they say. And they claim it all happens really fast.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I do wonder about the quality of the formatting.
Yeah.
Can an AI really handle all the nuances of layout and design?
That's a good question. And it's definitely something that people should think about.
Yeah.
While AzonKDP talks about speed and efficiency, it's important to make sure the final product looks good.
Right. You don't want to sacrifice quality just for convenience.
Exactly.
But I guess that's where the user testimonials come in handy.
Yeah.
If other authors are happy with the results, then that's a good sign.
It is. And you can always do your own research, too.
Right.
Look for reviews from people who have used AzonKDP and see what they say about the formatting and the whole publishing experience.
Okay, so we've talked about research and writing and publishing. What about cover design?
Oh, yeah, that's important.
That's a pretty big part of attracting readers.
It is. And AzonKDP knows that. They have an AI-powered cover designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do they say, like, how it works?
They claim it can create professional-looking covers in just seconds.
Seconds. Wow. That sounds really convenient.
Yeah.
But again, I wonder about the quality.
Yeah.
Can an AI really match the creativity of a human designer?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And it's something that people should definitely think about.
Yeah.
If having a unique and eye-catching cover is really important to you, you might want to just hire a professional.
Right.
Even if it costs a little more.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about finding that balance
It is.
between convenience and quality.
Right.
But I have to admit, the idea of having an AI create a cover in seconds is pretty tempting.
It is, especially if you're on a budget or you're in a hurry.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot here. We've talked about AzonKDP's main features.
We have.
We've looked at some testimonials.
Right.
We've considered some of the downsides. But I'm still thinking about the bigger picture here. Like, what are the implications of using AI in publishing in general? Could this be something that really changes the industry?
That's a really interesting question. And it's something that a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah, I bet.
Some people think that AI could make publishing more accessible to everybody. You know, make it easier for anyone to write and publish a book.
That'd be pretty cool.
But others worry that it could lead to lower quality content.
Yeah, like a bunch of generic stuff.
Right. And it's hard to know what's going to happen.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something worth thinking about.
Yeah, definitely. And something to keep in mind as we keep looking at AzonKDP.
Right.
Because even though this tool is focused on Kindle publishing, it's part of a bigger trend of AI getting involved in creative work.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about money.
Okay.
They make some pretty big claims about how much money people can earn using AzonKDP.
They do.
But how realistic are those claims?
Well, we talked about those individual cases.
Right, like Temes
Right.
and Delphine.
Exactly. And those are impressive numbers.
They are.
But how typical are they?
Yeah, that's the big question.
That is the question. And there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
Success in self-publishing depends on so many things,
Right.
like market trends and genre and the quality of the book and your marketing efforts.
So AzonKDP might be a helpful tool,
Uh-huh.
but it's not a guarantee that you're going to make a bunch of money.
Exactly. People need to understand that. There's no magic formula.
It takes work.
It does. You need hard work and dedication and a little bit of luck.
Right, and realistic expectations.
Absolutely.
But it's still really inspiring to see examples of people achieving their goals
It is.
using tools like this.
And it shows that the publishing world is changing.
Yes.
And new opportunities are popping up all the time.
Okay, so we've covered the features, the testimonials, the downsides, and the money stuff.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway here? What do we want people to understand about AzonKDP?
I think the main thing is to be balanced. It's not a magic solution, but it does offer some really interesting features that could potentially make publishing easier and more efficient.
Right. It's a tool that could be helpful for some people.
Right.
But it's not a replacement for hard work and creativity.
Exactly. And I think it's important to remember that this is just one tool.
Yeah.
There are other resources out there.
Right.
It's always good to explore your options and find the best fit for you.
So if someone's interested in AzonKDP, what's the next step? What should they do?
Well, they should check out the website for sure.
Okay.
Read reviews from other users, maybe even try a free trial if they offer one.
That's good advice.
That way you can get a feel for the tool and decide if it's right for you.
That's a good reminder that we should always do our own research
Always.
before making any decisions.
Absolutely. Don't just rely on marketing or testimonials.
Right.
Dig a little deeper and make an informed choice.
Because at the end of the day, the success of your publishing journey depends on you. We've talked about a lot of what AzonKDP offers, but I'm curious about the long-term implications of this kind of AI-driven publishing. Could this really be like a game changer for authors?
I think it definitely has the potential. Imagine you have this great idea for a book, but you get stuck with the technical parts, like the writing or the formatting or even figuring out what readers actually want. AzonKDP could step in and handle all of that.
That's a pretty compelling argument, but I also wonder if there's a risk of losing something in the process. Like, could relying so much on AI make the writing less creative, less original?
That's a valid concern, but I think it's helpful to think of AI as a tool that can enhance creativity, not replace it. It's like having a really efficient editor or researcher by your side. You're still the one coming up with the story and making the creative decisions.
Find that perspective. So instead of seeing AI as a threat, we can see it as a partner,
Right.
a way to amplify our own creativity.
Exactly. And I think that's the key to understanding the value of tools like AzonKDP. They're not trying to replace authors. They're trying to empower them.
Okay, that makes sense. But even with the best tools, success in publishing isn't guaranteed, right?
Of course not. There are so many different factors that contribute to success, but I think AzonKDP can increase your chances by making the technical stuff easier and by giving you some insight into what's working in the market.
So it's like getting a head start in a race,
Yeah.
but you still have to run the race yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's really important for authors to remember. No tool can do all the work for you. You still need to have a good story. You need to understand your audience, and you need a good marketing plan.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into AzonKDP, what are the key things we want listeners to take away?
Well, I think we can safely say that AI is changing the publishing world. Tools like AzonKDP are popping up all over the place. They can make things easier and they can give you valuable information, but it's important to be realistic about what they can and can't do.
Don't believe the hype. Don't think that AI is some kind of magic solution, but also don't ignore the potential.
Exactly. AI can be a powerful tool to help you reach more readers.
So to our listener out there who's dreaming of becoming a published author,
Yeah.
explore every resource you can find, including these new AI tools like AzonKDP. Do your research experiment a little and find what works best for you.
Because in the end, the most important thing is to tell your story.
And share your voice with the world.
Exactly.